My dear friends, what's your mentality towards death? So let's take a look at Rumi's point of view towards death. Rumi in his Masnavi of Manavi, book 4, band 97, tries to mention that بلکه خواهان اجل چون طفل شیر نه رنجی که تو را دارد اسیر مرگ جو باشی ولی نه از عجز رنج بلکه در خراب خانه بینی گنج. So what does that mean? It means that just the time that you want to deal with death or face with death, don't be afraid of death. You have to be the same as a child or infant who is looking forward to drinking from his mom. So in this case, just try to be eager to face death. بلکه خواهان عجل, you are willing to visit death. چون طفل شیر, the same as a child or infant who wants to drink milk. نه رنجی که تو را دارد اسیر, not because of the hardships and bothersome issues in life. مرگجو باشی ولی نه از عجز رنج. In order to fortify the previous line, Rumi mentions this line. بلکه بینی در خراب خانه گنج. In this case, in a ruined house, which means death, you as a guy or as a person who is willing to death, you will find a treasure. Well, let's take a look at Walt Whitman's point of view towards death. He mentions that nothing can happen more beautiful than death. Of course, he mentions that it is beautiful. Oscar Wilde mentions that yes, death. Death must be so beautiful. Why not? To lie in the soft brown earth, take a look at the analogy, with the greatest waving above one's head, take a look at the situation, and listen to silence. Perfect. To have no yesterday, it means that you are not going to worry about yesterday, and no tomorrow. Neither tomorrow. You're not going to worry about tomorrow. Well, this beautiful message from Oscar Wilde reminds me of a very beautiful verse of Iranian and Persian poet called Hafiz. He mentions that کنون که میدمد از بوستان نسیم بهشت من و شراب فرح بخش و یار حور سرشت گدا چرا نزند لاف سلطنت امروز که خیمه سایه ابرست و بزمگه لب کشت. If you take a look at the situation, as Oscar Wilde mentions that soft brown earth, کنون که میدمد از بوستان نسیم بهشت. So, من و شراب فرح بخش و یار حور سرشت is the same as death. So in this case, my dear friends, Oscar Wilde mentions that life and death shouldn't be something to be worried about. Lucius Ennius Seneca mentions that death is the wish of some. Some people, they are willing to die. It is classified in two parts. Some people are willing to die because they know what's gonna happen after death, and some people are willing to die because of the hardships of life, the relief of many, and the end of all. Believe it or not, all of us, we will face this phenomena. So in this case, just try to do it. Just try to open your arms towards death. Why not? William Shakespeare mentions that the valiant never tastes of death but once. So you're going to taste the death one time. Why not? Sadhguru mentions that only a person who is willing to die can live today. See? A person who is willing to die can live right now without any worries about life. Samuel Langford Clemens, which his pen name is Mark Twain, mentions that I don't fear from death. I had been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born. And I hadn't suffered the slightest inconveniences from it. He mentions that millions of years ago, before I was born, I experienced the death. So I'm not afraid of death. And also he mentions that the fear of death follows from the fear of life. If you fear from life, you are afraid of death. A man who lives fully without any worries is prepared to die at any time. My dear friends, if you are worried about the situation of life, you will suffer from stress. So, stress is the cause of maybe 70% or 90% of the diseases around the world. And a person's health improves with the avoidance of stress. In this case, we have to live right now and prepare to die at any time. In this case, we won't suffer from stress. Well, let's take a look at the technical features of this poem. بلکه خواهان اجل چون طفل شیر. چون طفل شیر. Here it's simile. نزرنجی که تو را دارد اسیر. If you pay attention, re here is repeated so many times, so we can call it illustration. مرگجو باشی ولی نه از عجز رنج، بلکه در خراب خانه، بلکه بینی در خراب خانه گنج. So here j illustration and z. So my dear friends, I hope happiness shines with your life. Take care and have lots of fun.